Views expressed here are not supported by and do not reflect those of the Evening Rush Network. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Yep. What's going on? What up? Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Evening Rush. As you saw, we'd like you to subscribe, share, and like. Today we're going to be talking about a very touchy subject. As y'all saw in the beginning, there was a number. If anybody's ever been sexually assaulted, please feel free. I will be throwing that number back up so you can see it during the show. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about sexual assault. I got first in the building. First of all, these two women are amazing.
Absolutely.
By far, they can call me on anything, and I'm definitely got them. I will hold them down because they are just two people that I really, really, truthfully appreciate. So one, we got Dr. Cooper Lovett back in the building, our sex therapist. And then we got my homegirl who showed me mad love when I was in the shop. Miss Allure is in the building. Make sure y'all check in the Alluring Hour.
Mm-hmm.
So, as always, I forgot. I got my greatest co-host in the building, Miss Rainbow. We're back, season 4. Shout out to Fleet DJs. So, Rainbow, how was your week real quick?
Well, I'm back up here in New York. Came to see my mama in the work, I guess. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like that I had to work to come see my mama, but it was all right. I mean, don't feel no different to me.
That dark tan.
So what is this? We talking about dark tan? I'm still light.
No. You're golden now.
Well, I guess I'm finally caramel complexion because y'all been calling me light skin and I don't appreciate it. I ain't light skin. But yeah. I mean, it was a week. I mean, it's only Wednesday. So this week I did nothing. I really didn't do nothing this week. So I can't complain. I'm out here talking about but I ain't did nothing. So
definitely gotta catch up. Definitely gotta catch up with what's going on in the
You better hurry up because I'm leaving Monday. Because I'm going to Mexico next week.
Here you go. Laura, how was your week this week?
My week was interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that word.
Yeah. I learned some new phrases that someone decided to describe me, and I was totally in awe. But other than that, I had a beautiful weekend, so I can't complain.
Definitely. And once again, I appreciate you being here.
Always.
Dr. Cooper Lovett, how was your week?
It's been okay so far. Pretty uneventful, just pretty chill. Just my regular work week with clients. Trying to get my kid enrolled in school. He's 3, so it's time for him to be around some kids. So I'm excited for that.
I mean, I guess an uneventful work week is kind of good in your line of work, right?
No one's calling her with a meltdown.
Exactly.
Yes, it's real.
So calm is good.
Oh yes, for sure.
Good.
I want to keep it that way.
Dawn, how was your
Yeah.
week?
I had the most hectic week in the world, as always. Like I said, shout out to Fleet DJs, man. I've been like getting ready to go to Virginia so I could be
Yeah,
there
because
for
y'all
their
going to
conference
Virginia
next
next week.
Yeah, next week. I've been running around with the family because now the kids are back in school, so it's real. Work is real because people are now making sure they have enough food in the house or for snacks and stuff for the kids. So yeah, it's been a long
You be
week.
wearing your mask at work?
No.
You
I
gotta
keep
start.
telling you I got the cure. I'm fine.
So what? Why do you want to get it? Why do you want to get it?
I
Just
don't
prevention.
want to get the vid. I don't want to get the
Exactly.
vid.
So wear your
Once
mask.
again, I got the cure. I'm straight.
Nah, but
But
this is the whole thing: is why do you have to wait till you get it?
Again.
Right?
listen,
Why would you wait till you get it? Just prevent
I'm
prevent
fine.
yourself from getting it.
I'm fine. Trust me, I'm fine. I'm gonna make I'm gonna protect the family. That's what I do. I'm the protector. That's what I do. So, Rainbow Froze. Come on, Rainbow, get back with her. So, anyway, so I'm gonna get into a video because, like I said, we're talking about sexual assault, and I want people to understand how serious sexual assault is. It's not a joking matter. It's nothing to play with. You know, people are they go through a very emotional changes during this time when things like this happen, and we need to address it. You know, once again, the number is 929-282-0266. So if anyone wants to call in and, if you want to discuss what you went through, the lines are open. We're willing to hear. Dr. Lovett is here. She's a sex therapist, family and sex therapist, excuse me. Because I don't want y'all to think she's calling. Don't call up here asking no crazy questions. Hey, Sam.
She's a therapist. It says couples, family, and sex.
Yeah.
So it don't matter what you are. She got you.
And owner of ANC.
Mm-hmm.
But please do not call up in here asking her no crazy questions because it ain't going down. I will shut it down.
We will hang up on you quick, fast, and in a hurry. Don't be disrespectful.
So, Lord checked the numbers for me. I think we said 1 out of 4 female
women, 1 out of 4
are assaulted by people they know.
Mm-hmm.
What are y'all thoughts on that, lady?
Wait a minute. Get to the other number.
Oh, I don't remember the other number.
One out of every 26 men.
There you go.
Sexually assaulted or attempted sexual assault will occur against them.
That is such a drastic difference.
Yeah, big time.
Sounds like we know who the problem is.
Do you feel? Do y'all ladies feel that is because women are more vulnerable to being sexually assaulted?
I would say yes.
Yes and no.
I would say.
Why do you say yes?
I say yes because women, clearly we're usually not as strong as men, so it's easier for y'all to overtake us. I say no because if the man could just control himself, we wouldn't be in this predicament. But they don't.
Do you, Dr. Lovett, do you feel like that maybe that's I want to say a mental issue with certain men that make them want to do these things?
We can call it that, and we could just call it rape culture too. That whole boys will be boys thing. So they use that, perpetuate that, and make it a justification for why they doing what they want to do. And sometimes even the excuse of, oh, when she say no, she really mean yes. No, if she say no, she said no. Right. And I always have to delineate the difference.
She said her mouth said no, but her body said yeah.
Exactly, but it's like no, it didn't. It made it feel situational from your perspective, but it wasn't. She may not, because people always think it looked like it looked on the movies or something, or sometimes from the outside looking in, it can look consensual when it really wasn't.
That's very true.
I definitely agree with that. Men and certain women. Like I said, it goes both ways.
Mm-hmm.
No does mean no. It doesn't always mean yes. So I want to get into this first video, and then we're gonna discuss it, and we also got some other stuff that we're gonna talk about today. So let's start with this first video.
This is what rape also looks like. Yeah, I want to do it. I'm just a little bit nervous. No need to be nervous, baby. I'll be gentle. Okay. Don't be shy. Come here. Give me a kiss. Wait, hold on. Stop. Stop. It's okay. I'm being gentle. Wait, no, I'm serious. I want to stop. I'm almost finished. Just relax. Why you sitting there looking like that? You wanted it. Please just leave. I don't get why you acting like this, but
You're muted.
This is what rape also looks like. Yeah, I want to do it. I'm just a little bit nervous. No need to be nervous, baby. I'll be gentle. Okay. Don't be shy. Come here. This is what rape also looks like. Yeah, I want to do it. I'm just a little bit nervous. No need to be nervous, baby. I'll be gentle. Okay. Don't be shy. Come here. Give me a kiss.
You're muted.
It might be a delay in his system because I've been having the same issue with StreamYard.
Mm.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go. All right. Sorry about that. So clearly, watching that video, it's one of the first signs of situations. She, in the beginning, maybe felt, she wanted to do these things, and in between things, starting or to happen, she clearly
Changed
said,
her mind.
"Stop, no," and he kept going.
Mm.
So, these are the things that we need to be mindful as men. When she does say stop and no, that's what she means. It's not nothing else. It's not, yes, you really want it. No. She said what she said, and you should back up. Give us some space.
Mm.
Ladies, what's your thoughts on these type of situations?
Well, Dawn, if I can address something, I think a lot of men don't understand how the body works because she could have been in it in that moment, and he's thinking her body is saying yes, and her body seems like it's aroused, and she may be, how women, we get moisture, and the body enjoys to be touched. Your body's going to react to being touched, but just because your body is reacting does not necessarily mean that you want to do these things, because mentally you're saying no, but you can't control how your body reacts to certain things. That's just like someone with ice on your skin. You're going to get cold, right? It's a natural reaction. And I think when they experience this natural reaction from a woman's body, they think that's the green light. And they need to understand, if she opened her mouth and said, I do not want to do this, please stop. That means she has changed her mind. She's having doubt, and she is questioning something, because whatever it is, doesn't matter why she chose to stop. You need to stop.
Yeah.
And we learned early that, even when it comes to consent, that I have the right to say no at any time I want. I don't care how far we are into it.
Yes.
See, and I think that's one of the biggest issues. People get confused with the fact that, at that moment she wanted to stop, but in his head he's still saying this is something she wanted.
It's like he can't turn it off. He couldn't turn it. He couldn't turn it off. So he thought, well, I'm turned on, so she must be turned on.
Yeah. But clearly she no longer wanted wasn't wanting any more parts of this.
In the part where she's, her acting as the guy was like, oh, I'm almost finished. What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah. Basically, you masturbate into my body. That's basically what just happened.
It was all,
Disregard.
it's all about you. It has nothing, it had nothing to do with her. Whether she wanted it or not, I'm gonna get mine. You better get yours. That's what it was pretty much like.
Mm-hmm.
Which happens a lot, and that's the justification. They said like, oh, she wanted it because she had a physiological response in the beginning. That's the difference.
And it's a
But you
difference.
could,
Stop
but
it.
even the way when she was saying, when she was like, "Oh, okay," you could hear the hesitation in her saying, "Yeah, I'm ready." She couldn't even get the words out properly.
Mm-hmm.
Very tentative.
Because she was trying to please him in that moment because she was afraid of what no, just coming out and saying no, what no was gonna have a consequence. You know, some women be afraid of that. We be afraid to say no to men getting our phone numbers, or we get there, we thinking we're just gonna hang out, and then it turns into something more than that. You don't really know how to react in that moment.
Absolutely. And it's a safety thing because it's like if I say no, is it going to be really violent? Is it going to be really aggressive? And I have
Right.
clients tell me that.
He might just take it anyway.
Right.
Exactly. So I just went along with it, but traumatized the hell out of him, though. You know, but it was just kind of like, it's either this or if I say no and fight him, it's going to be even worse.
And do you think that's most of the time what do occur is once they do say no and then they push the person off, it becomes violent?
Yes.
Okay. For sure.
I mean, well,
see, I can only ask these questions because I've never been through these situations. So I can only ask from a woman's point of view because once again, I'm not a woman, so I can only ask because I want to get more clarification. I want people to understand that, you know, you can say no and you can, and you know, and you, it should be okay. There shouldn't be a problem.
But also people always also have the stigma that like that seemed like they were maybe been a couple. It may have been their first time, but it looked like they might have been in a relationship. And people think a lot of people, like a lot of men think, oh, it's my girl. That's not considered rape. That's my wife. That's not considered rape. If she told you no, no is no. I mean, sexual assault. If she said no, no is no. You can sexually assault your significant other, whether it's male or female, because some women are aggressive with their man too. And he said no, and she be like, well, I'm gonna get on top of him anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Lorraine Bobbitt, she did set the standards for that, where you can't say no to your mate, and he sexually assaulted her. Now she did. I ain't gonna say she took it too far, but she did.
I want to say she might have took it too far.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not going to say we don't know how aggressive it was, but we do know that he did have the history of violence.
I believe calling 911 was the best.
I mean, because the whole thing is, was she able to? She couldn't. She might have not been able to get to the phone. They were at home, and he was like, "You gonna do what I want?" Because clearly, he wasn't trying to get no coochie. He wanted head. So she was like, "All right. This is what you want. I'm gonna give you what you want and more, and you're gonna get a little bit extra too."
I mean, well, that was a time where stuff like that was okay. You could beat on your wife, you could rape your wife, and no one would bat an eye. So she probably was just like, you know what? I bet you won't do it again. I came, pleaded, called for help, and
unfortunately, she set a standard for a lot of women.
But it probably wasn't the first time. I don't think straight out the gate she was just like, oh, this only happened one time, I'm going to do this. It's probably happened multiple times, and she was just like, I've had enough. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. That was it. She had enough. Hey, that she was tired of it.
What's going on with that? All right, so I want to get into this next video real quick, and let's go into that one now.
This is what rape also looks like. You have no idea how grateful I am. I truly appreciate this because I have nobody else to ask. Of course, don't mention it. How much you say you need? I just need 300. Here. Thank you. I'm so sorry I have to borrow money from you, but having 2 kids and, you know, losing my job, it's been really tough. But as soon as I'm able to pay you back, I'll pay you. Don't worry about it. We're friends. You good. I'm not stressing it. Thank you again. Well, let me get home to these kids, all right? I'll see you. Wait, hold up. Where you going so fast? You're not going to spend a little time with me? Nah, I just gotta get back home to the kids. She just gonna take my money and dip? Charles, seriously? I just feel like you could spend some time. Come here, sit down. Okay. Now what you gonna do for me? Charles, what are you doing? Come on, Sash, let's be real here. You need the money for the kids, and I'm the only person that you know that could give it to you. So just give me what I want. Please don't do this. I told you I'll pay you back. Nah. No sex, no help. So what's it gonna be? Okay, I'll do it. All right, then take off your clothes.
There you go.
That's clearly another situation where, you know, a woman is being manipulated.
She thought he was her friend, but he wasn't. He's not her friend.
He wouldn't even look. He didn't really look out for her because looking out does not come with a course, especially that type of course. You know, it should have been, you need help, and she said it was for her kids, and then he still took it further. And
well, I'd have been like, Charles, you got to give me some more money because $300 ain't enough.
Yeah, no.
If you want, look, if you out here making me pimp myself, then I'm gonna need more money
than $300 a day because it's coercive. You know,
really
definitely coercive. Right back in the corner.
I mean, she did it because she had to take care of her kids. She needed the money. But mister, you gonna have to pay me more for this body. So give me more than $300. I'm sorry. Charles, cough it up.
But this is so crazy because of, I bet you he was the most sweetest person. He seemed so dependable, and she did not see his narcissistic ways. Because to be honest, that is a narcissist. They play the part so well. They are concerning. They know how to comfort you when you need it. And then they'll make sure they're there when you are at your bottom. And then that's when the shoe drops. So now what you can do for me? And we got to be very cautious of these people and be looking out for those red flags. Because, whoa.
But they don't look like red flags. They look like all green flags. That's the problem. It's by the time you figure out their red flags, it's too late.
And once again, this is what, as we were talking about a little while ago, that is a friend. Somebody that she knew. Somebody that she trusted.
Both instances, it was somebody she knew. Yeah. You know, both the situations, somebody that the girl knew. But this is like she's saying, like she went to him because he seemed dependable. He just seemed like he was there to help. There was nobody else to help her. And she was like, he was like, don't worry about it. You don't have to pay it back. It's a good. We're friends. And then she's trying to leave. And then he's like, well, what you gonna do for me? I said I was gonna give you back your money. That's what I said I was gonna do.
And ladies, I want y'all to realize these are all signs of rape. This is not, sexual
assault. You trying to get us fined?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I meant sexual assault. These are signs of sexual assault. So I definitely want you women to know these signs, see the signs. LeBron, Charles, Mr. Matthews, we're talking about
sexual assault.
Sexual assault, and pretty much the topic of the day is, can we find normal after sexual assault, which we're going to get to in the second half of the show. Right now we're just showing different signs of sexual assault. Once again, anybody that want to talk about their experience, the number is 929-282-0266. We have Dr. Lovett in the building, and we have a lawyer in the building, both willing to, try to give in and give us some good advice, sound advice, and on their opinion, and do what we do. So I'm gonna get into this third video, and this third video is a little change in the situation. So I want you ladies to pay attention.
This is what rape also looks like. Babe.
Yeah.
I want more.
More for it.
More.
No, I'm too tired.
What do you mean you're tired?
What do you mean what I mean? You know when somebody tired.
I didn't finish yet.
I'm too tired. I'm tired. I want to sleep.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah.
I bet you don't do that with your wife.
Leave my wife out of this.
Damn, I'm not fucking playing with you. Is it you give me more or I'll text your fucking wife?
Yeah, why you always make that shit to get what you want?
Man, fuck it. I'm just gonna text her.
Okay, don't do that. Don't let her do it. I'll do it.
In this case scenario, we all can agree that his actions towards his wife, which is cheating, is wrong, but it does not justify him being raped.
He's 1 out of the 26.
Mm-hmm.
So as you see, it definitely changed. You know, he was the victim, and like she said in the beginning, it doesn't make it right because he was cheating on his wife, but he was still being
He was being
taken advantage of.
manipulated. He was being manipulated because she was like, "You won't give me what I want, or I'm telling your wife."
Libra.
And once again, this is definitely a sign of rape, even though it's now to the
Sexual
opposite sex.
assault.
Excuse me, sexual assault to the other person now, to a male. So I want people to know that men do get sexually assaulted too. It's not just women. Yes, it's more women than men, and then I definitely need to check that, because I know in jail a lot of dudes get sexually assaulted and you won't know about it because they won't talk about it. You know, I used to say, if you've been in there 10 or longer, you definitely had to get sexually assaulted. And, once again, nah, not me, bro. I'm good, bro. The dudes would never do that to me.
But it doesn't. They might have been the ones sexually assaulting somebody. It doesn't mean that they was the one sexually assaulting. They might have been doing the sexual assaulting.
Right.
That's why they said, "Nah, not me, bro," because they were the perpetrator.
So, I mean, Dr. Lovett, do you feel that? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's your context. Lord.
I was gonna say, do you think that's an ego thing, more or less?
Yeah, the ego.
When it comes to a man not saying, "Yeah, I was sexually assaulted," or not.
Of course, because it holds a different meaning for men. Because men in the society, the whole man box and what it means to be a man is very limited. They don't have a lot of ways to express themselves or be men. So if I say I was sexually assaulted, that goes against that whole grain of what a man.
It makes them feel weak
or less than, or I'm not
Right.
I'm not a man, especially working with boys who've been sexually assaulted. That's a whole other, look in therapy versus when you work with girls.
Do you mean sexually assaulted by a male or sexually assaulted by a female?
Both. I've had it with both, male and female. Yeah, and that with a male, that's a whole other man that's been assaulted by a man. That's a whole other conversation.
That's a whole nother monster.
Yeah. That's just like the gentleman that I had on my podcast. His sexual assault went on from, I believe he said the time that he was like 15, if I'm not wrong. He was young, and then he knew that it wasn't okay, and it was always a threat of your mom's not gonna be taken care of, because the guy was giving him money. The guy gave him over $1 million over the course of this assault. He gave him over $1 million, and he was saying that he wanted to tell his family, he wanted to tell his mom. He said there were so many times where he broke down and he just really wanted to say, "Mom, this is what's going on." But his pride wouldn't let him, because he was worried about how he would be seen. And then the things that was coming along with it, he was just like, okay, he came from a broken home, basically. And he was thinking about making sure his mom was taken care of. And, he had all of the stuff that he's never had before. But then he realized, this
ain't right.
And then he realized other people were being assaulted. And he said it took a long time for him to step forward, and said because it was at the hands of a male, and he was worried about how people would see him, or if they would think that he was not masculine. Yeah.
Now, they figure, oh well, you're taking it. It's not by choice. It's not my choice.
Yeah. And so if you guys want to look this story up, this was the Riverside Church scandal. Is Riverside Church founder indicted in sex abuse case. And his name was Ernie Loach.
So this man was taking the church's money and spending it, because I'm pretty sure it wasn't just this one boy. It was several boys. So So he gave this person over $1 million. He was taking the church people's money to pretty much give them hush money.
Yeah.
A bunch of children.
Mm-hmm.
He should be put under the jail and set on fire.
Right now, he has a current lawsuit of over $1 million against the church because of the new law that Como passed, the taking the statute of limitation off of rape, the rape for rape victims or sexual assault. That has opened up the door for him to be able to sue the church because the church knew, and it was brought forth to the church, and they did nothing of it. And he did win. He ended up winning his lawsuit because he did sue the coach who assaulted him. He did win a $500,000 lawsuit against them. And he's sharing his story right now, and he's mentoring kids, and he's trying to make sure that they don't fall in that gap of where he was at, because it's always the children who have less that seem to get assaulted, and it goes unnoticed. It's always the child who is looking for a father figure, because essentially he said that was his father figure. Get long-winded, but yeah.
So I just want to read one of the comments. Mr. Matthews said there's no price tag on pain.
Absolutely.
Definitely, I agree with that, because after him being assaulted, the damage, the mental damage, goes on a lot further. So it's not just that one moment.
That's a lifetime. Like, that's not something you forget. Like, you may tend to get over it and move on with your life, but it's not something you forget.
Never.
You can never forget that. You can never forget that type of pain and mental anguish. Like, no matter how much money they give you.
Yeah.
I wanted to shout out LeBron because he did that interview with me. So he was there, and it was a very, very emotional interview for all of us. I've never really been lost for words so much in an interview, and it was the hardest interview that I've ever done. The story it's just really unbelievable, and I just feel like even the time that they gave him, I just feel like it just wasn't enough. And this church pumped out athletes like Dwayne Wade, and some other NBA players, and it's just like,
that goes to one of the things I wanted to ask Dr. Lovett. With rappers, NBA stars, with them forcing women to sign in NDAs, and then they come out later saying they were sexually assaulted, how do we actually know what was done? Because technically they wasn't supposed to talk about it.
And you asked how do we know, like, the specifics of what was done during that assault? You're saying?
Yeah.
Well, they say on the NDA, but even in that, because that's now it's a crime. So I should have the rights to be explicit about what happened to me, NDA or not, because you broke the law. Illegal. Therefore, I should have the right to report that.
You're making me sign something that's back in the day, you're pretty much wanting me to sign something that says, oh, I can't talk about if you do something to me like that. I would have, you count me out. Count me out.
Hearing such a thing, you know what I mean? And I think that's the piece, because it's like, if I break the contract about you assaulting me, how is that? I'm
gonna be sued
in a court of law.
Well, sue me, because I ain't got no money and you ain't gonna get nothing anyway.
I think this is one of the main reasons, the situation with R. Kelly is hitting so hard, because of all the young ladies that finally stepped up into it and said, this is what he did to me. Even though it was NDAs in some of those cases, he gave a lot of hush money. I don't even know if
there was NDA. It was those parents, because let me tell you, it had they parents. What their parents did was sell them off to R. Kelly, because there's no way I'm letting my 13, 14, 18, 19-year-old child just live at some man's studio. I'm not doing that.
That's a question I was going to ask her. Dr. Lovett, do you think that NDAs were created for predators to kind of protect them a little bit?
Of course. And, we live in a system, I remember watching this documentary on Netflix oh, I forgot that the rich white dude who owned the island, and like they was sexually assaulting, and doing different things to kids, minors, and these high level elite politicians going to this island having sex with young girls, and
I remember. I don't remember what it's called either, but I know what you're talking about.
yes, he ended up committing or dying by suicide.
Mhm.
So with
Wow.
those NDAs, I think about people like that. It protects people in power, right? So it's just kind of like predators. It's usually people who are in privileged positions.
Oh, you talking about
Yeah,
Epstein? You
yeah.
talking about Epstein?
Who?
Epstein, the guy who
Yes.
yeah, yes.
But yeah, Epstein. Why can't I remember his first name either?
Yeah, me neither.
Me neither.
There was a lot of people doing some grimy stuff, but like a lot
Everybody, because Trump, like they're
Mhm.
because they're saying a lot, like he died by suicide. He killed himself. They killed that man because he knew too much. He knew too much and was about to turn on too many people. And they said, "Oh, nope, not me."
Yeah.
But do you ladies remember there was a case? It was like a lacrosse player, and he was found to had sexually assaulted some girl behind a club.
Yeah.
Two black guys found him, and they stopped him for the police. And then when the judge gave him 6 months probation
What's his name?
for
Alex
sex.
something.
I forgot what his name is. Yes, sexually assaulting this girl. Like he was in the midst of the sexual assault, and they stopped him. And the judge gave him 6 months. That's all he gave him. He was like, because I don't want to ruin this young man's future. As he didn't sexually assault he didn't sexually assault this girl. And you know what? People say, oh, it's a white thing. It's a white and black thing. No, the girl was white. She didn't get she got no justice. He did 6 months and then that was it. And now he gets to go back to regular life like nothing happened. And she has to live
That's
with this for
crazy.
the rest of her life.
All it's gonna do is perpetuate his behavior.
Yes, he is. Mm-hmm.
It's true. It wasn't enough to like, what are you doing to rectify that? Or because restorative justice is a thing. So it's like, what are you doing to rectify that? Getting 6 months probation and restorative justice is just you put him back.
It wasn't even like 6 months in jail. Like 6 months probation. Like you letting that man, you're still letting him roam the streets. Like he can still do whatever he wants to do for these 6 months. It wasn't house arrest. No, nothing.
It was 3 of them. It was the Duke lacrosse case that
Yes.
happened in 2006 in Durham, North Carolina. 3 members of the lacrosse team were accused of sexually assaulting a young woman, and we already know what that was about, though.
Mm-hmm.
I know. And then it was, I forget his name, who sexually assaulted the young lady behind the trash can.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were at a club and he was like, "Oh, well, she was drunk. She couldn't even like they said that she was passed out drunk. Like there's no way she could have given consent." He said it was consensual. They was like, there was no way this girl could have given consent. They were like walking past because he was in the alley sexually assaulting her. They were walking past, they noticed it, they yelled at him. And I guess maybe because he couldn't get his pants up fast enough, he got caught.
Well, you guys know I'm a conspiracy theorist, so y'all know I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but it's a boys' club. These judges sit on high because most of these judges have sexually assaulted a woman back in their day, and so they resonate with these young boys, and they think about, I don't want to throw his life away because I remember when I did it, and I never did it again.
It could also be, I don't remember if he was from an affluent family. His father could have paid the judge off for all we know. It couldn't have just been, oh, I sympathize with him because I did the same thing and it should be nothing wrong with him. He could have got paid off. Like a lot of people do a lot of shady things for money.
Yeah, but I don't think it was a payoff because I've seen other cases where people who didn't really have money and they were molesting children and they were getting slaps on the wrist. And it's because, you guys got to look at it like this. Most of the judges that sit on the bench, God forgive me, are Catholic. They come from Catholic churches.
Yeah.
Most of them do. And
you don't have to say no more.
We see, right. So you got to think about it. What happened to a Catholic priest if they sexually assault a young boy? He gets sent
Nothing.
away. And these are the same people who go to church with these men, the same judges that they go and have dinner with, play golf with. It's a boys' club. And it's a club that they don't want to end this assault because it's a thrill for them. It's a sickness. It's an illness.
Epstein. It's the whole Epstein thing.
Yeah, I'll be going off. Let me quit.
Let me get into this. Well, first, let me shout out our sponsors, Industry 21 Magazine, Envious Creations, and Martine Felton. Once again, we are definitely talking about.
I'm about to say, Don, do we even have to go to commercial?
I'm not going to go to commercial today.
I'm about to say, it doesn't make sense.
Are you going to find the normal after a sexual assault? But, I still got to pay the bill.
Yes.
You got to call in the number. If you want to call in, excuse me, the number is 929-822-282. Excuse me. What's going on today, bro?
929-282-0266. I got you.
All right. Appreciate you. We're going to get into this next video real quick. I just got one more after that. And then we're going to talk about how can we normalize, how do you find normal after a sexual assault? So let's check this one out.
This is what rape also looked like. Thank you for taking me home. I had a lot of fun tonight. You're welcome. But who says the fun has to stop? I gotta lay down. I'm too tired. Hold on, be careful, I got you. Oh. You look so good laying there like that. I love that outfit on you. Stop, what are you doing? Stop playing, you know you want this. Stop, please, no. Just relax, just lay down, lay down. Where's my clothes? What the fuck are you doing in my bed? Yo, why you tripping? Get the fuck out of my house right now.
So once again, another situation, and this one actually hits close to home for me. Reason why, a young lady friend of mine called me after she had a situation similar to this, where she felt she was in a safe space, went out, had a good time, got to hang out, and she had got over intoxicated, and two people who she felt were going to look out for her actually took her somewhere. They assaulted her. They kicked her out of the house that they were in, left her in the hallway, naked. And
what?
And after that, I received a phone call, and I met her at the hospital, where I made sure she was okay and properly made sure she got home and was safe. But after the experience, it was very traumatizing for her.
It isn't just the sexual assault, but it's also the disrespect. Like y'all sexually assaulted her and then y'all kicked her out naked in a hallway. Like y'all had no decency, like she wasn't a human.
Yeah.
Like y'all tried to take her dignity from her.
But that shows it wasn't their first time too.
It sure does. It sure does.
And the fact that it was like two of y'all did this together, like what type of dirty dogs are y'all?
Honestly, when I first found out, because she didn't want to go into who it was, she couldn't remember certain things, because the other part of me would have taken another place. I hate to see my friends or people I'm very, very close to hurt in any type of form, shape, form, or fashion, and to find that happening to them is crazy. And then for them not to be able to remember certain things, and it's just, you knew she was intoxicated. And once again, she felt like she was in a safe space. Like, that's something that shouldn't have definitely happened to her. So, ladies, this is what I always say: go out and pack. Definitely make sure your girl don't just go home random with random people. Um, make sure she's safe the way she should make sure you're safe, and she get home right. If she wants to be with somebody, make sure she's good. You're not just okay. She good, and you go the opposite way. You know what I
Nah,
mean?
nah. I don't know about any other pack of girls, but if we came together, we leaving together. Unless that's your man. It ain't just somebody that you met tonight. Nah, you can't leave with them. Or you know what? You leave your house and then go back out. I'm making sure you got home on my conscience. I did what I was supposed to do as your friend. I got you home safely. You're not gonna leave us to go with some man you just met. I'm not you no, sorry. You could call me a cock blocker or whatever.
I've been in
You
situations
gonna
like
be calling me from your house.
Yeah.
You ain't I'm not gonna be like, you're not gonna call me the next day and be like, oh girl, you know what he did to me? I told you to take your ass home.
right.
Yeah.
I am the cock blocker because I'm sorry. I'm gonna be up in his face getting smart because I've had a couple of girlfriends who get too tipsy and then they meet someone and the guy is like super cute and then I know she's not in her right mind and she's gonna want to fight me. So I make sure I'm the friend that's so annoying that he doesn't. It's not even worth it.
And even people slipping Mickeys too. I know that's an old term. I
Yeah.
But I remember I had a client tell me
Girl,
that.
I'll still call it a Mickey because that's what I would say.
Yeah, because I don't even. Yeah, but because people they get slick like that too, and then or even when my clients were sharing years ago, that sometimes even them and the bartender would be like, making deals, and bartender put some stuff in there, and somebody else was like, yeah, going and
I need to see you make my drink. I don't need you to turn around and no. I need to see you standing there making my drink, pouring everything in as I'm at the bar. I don't care who paid for it. He could have paid for it, but I need to see you making my drink. And I'm not turning my head, no none of that. Yeah, because people do be do have it all going on with the bartenders.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm the king. I'm the king of. I will take my drink to the bathroom with me if I don't have nobody there that I can just hold this for me. Nope. Me and the drink is in the bathroom together.
He
I
said,
have no problem with it.
somebody slipped his male cousin in Mickey. He was never the same. It's because
Yeah.
sometimes it's not always just about them being unconscious. Some people's chemical balance that it isn't right with that particular type, whatever it is, and now they are done for life.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don, you see when you was down here how we do it.
Yeah. Nah. Listen, I appreciate that love. We was good. We was definitely good.
Yeah,
I definitely want to say, anytime you tell somebody, yo, listen, I'm pulling up in your city, and they show you the amount of love that I got that day, yo, I definitely appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When we go I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Let me get to this last video, and I really want, ladies and gentlemen, I really want y'all to pay attention because these are the things I want Dr. Lovett to explain to us briefly.
This is most commonly what happens to victims after rape or sexual assault. Sash.
What?
Can I come in? Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Well, can I bring you something to eat?
I'm not hungry.
Well, I'm here if you need me, okay? Are you coming, Sash? Sash.
Huh?
I was asking, do you want to come to the mall with us?
No. Hello?
Why you keep doing this? Why is it so hard to get through to you?
Why are you still calling me?
Stop calling you for what? What did I do to you? You acting like I did something bad. Huh?
I asked you to leave me alone. Please stop calling me.
You mad extra for no reason, yo. Stop doing that.
I already blocked your number like 4 times. Please stop calling me.
Yeah, but you're blocking me for what? Hello?
Why did I do this to myself?
Yeah.
Yep. Seems about right.
Those things are hard to watch. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not a very super emotional person. I don't like to show my emotions, but those things are hard to watch, especially the last two because, like I said, I experienced these two things. The first one, isolation. Can you explain more or less why those people start to isolate themselves?
Of course, you know, because when you think about assault, it is a traumatic experience. So the person is traumatized. That is a symptom of trauma, isolation. And then some people even deal with depression. Some people, and then, you know, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, is an anxiety disorder as well. But sometimes depression goes hand in hand with that. So isolation is also a symptom of depression and PTSD. So the person is literally traumatized. You know, so you know, if you read the DSM diagnosis, all the characteristics that come with that, both anxiety, PTSD, and depression. Isolation is a part of the depression piece, but PTSD, even though it's not mentioned as much in regard to isolation, is very much a symptom of PTSD for sure. Because it's kind of like I need to be recluse. I don't feel safe in the world anymore. So now my sense of safety is now shifted. And so literally, even biochemically in our brains, the amygdala is responsible for letting us know when we're safe and when we're not. So when I go through a trauma, the amygdala grows. So now the amygdala is confused, saying like, now we don't know when we're safe and when we're not. So it's just easier to stay in the house. And some people have told me they're not even safe at home. They scared somebody will crawl through their window, bust through the door. So it gets really real. Like they're in a constant state of fear. Fight, flight, or freeze, which raises high cortisol levels, you know, which causes our body, the organs in our bodies to break down because we don't need cortisol in our body like that. But because I'm stressed, overwhelmed, fight, flight, or freeze mode, all of these things begin to occur.
Can I ask you a question? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Will.
I've seen cases where a woman was sexually assaulted by a man, and I have a friend who she went on a date with someone, and they, you know, they were cool or whatever, and they're just chatting. He offers her a piece of candy, and she says, "Okay, yeah, cool. I'll take a piece of candy," thinking nothing of it. So she took the candy, and later started kind of feeling weird. And I guess she had intercourse with him, or, you know, they, whatever, but she didn't want to. And she said no, but at that time she was so impaired. But yet, you know, and he says to her, she's like, what's the deal? You know, I feel weird. He says, oh, this is, I think it was like those weed, the edibles. So it was an edible, but he didn't tell her ahead of time.
So you gave me an edible without telling me I'm about to be high as a kite and impaired.
And she doesn't do drugs at all. And so she still dealt with him though, because he apologized. And she said she believed that he did not mean to hurt her. What would you say to that? Like, how would you, what is wrong with her?
The simple phrase I always say is love and hurt cannot exist in the same space. It's impossible. That's number one. You know what I mean? And so, and I know a lot of times people internalize and say like, well, he didn't mean it. He was trying just to connect with me. Like, these are the excuses that we tell ourselves to keep from saying that, wow, I was actually sexually assaulted and I got to sit with that. You know what I mean? It's easier for me to say, oh, he didn't mean that. You know, it's easier. And I've had people actually in the session never say it out loud until in the session. And we had to just sit with that. Just sit. Wow. And I know
because that would mean you're a victim.
Yes, exactly.
No, and nobody want. Well, I'm not going to say nobody, because some people like to play the victim very well. They like to be the victim, but most people don't want to be victims, and they don't like to be victimized.
Absolutely.
I don't like you taking some of this candy too, because then we both need to be high. What? Like, why you just offering me candy? Did you take some too?
Yeah. Well, yeah, he was eating it too, and so, you know, I guess she just think like it's people.
She just thought it was regular candy.
You know, people offer me gum all the time. Like, I'm in school, they'd be like, "Hey, you want a piece of gum?" I don't think they ask them, "Is this marijuana?" You know, because you just
you
gotta start, because everything's edible. Everything's edibles now. Everything you gotta ask now.
You gotta ask questions.
What's in this?
That's so sad. I mean, it's true, but it's like when you're someone who isn't around that type of element, or you don't do drugs and you don't think like that. And because they had talked on the phone for like 6 months, and they've seen each other in person, but this was the first time they were like alone with each other. And that happened. So I think she kind of let her guard down, thinking this was a safe person, because 6 months, you think, okay, by now I know this person, they wouldn't do this. And
And that's the
I
whole
gotta
thing.
agree with you, Charles.
A person that's their intentions, they wait. They don't just do, like, they try to make sure that you get your guard down till you be like, no, they wouldn't do that. They do it on purpose. And it's crazy what people. It's crazy how people's brains work.
They make justifications.
And I have to agree with Charles. I think that is date rape, if I'm not
It is
mistaken.
date rape.
It is. That's like slipping you a Mickey. It's date rape. That's all. It's all the same thing.
And I had somebody, they used I call it pop. I know everybody else calls it soda, but used a pop. And slipped something in her drink. So she wasn't even trying to drink or anything. He just put it in her stuff, and now she couldn't drink orange soda no more, or the smell of incense, because she remembered the smell of the incense. She remembered that orange drink that she drank before it happened. So all of that was a trigger. She went to a store, saw the exact same fragrance of the incense, immediately got triggered. So, and some people have flashbacks in the moment where they're actually taken back to that moment just by seeing or smelling something. Your senses become heightened and triggered as well.
I don't. I've been watching a lot of, Law and Order, SVU. I don't know why, because that's all about sexual assault or whatever. And it was this episode where this guy had this drug, and it was pretty much like you were still like you knew what you were doing, but after it happened, you couldn't remember it. So these women were being sexually assaulted and had no recollection of being sexually assaulted.
They literally check out from their bodies. So
it was pretty much like everything that he told them to do, they would do, even though they didn't enjoy it. Like you could see them, you could see the fear in their eyes, like, no, I don't want to do this. But he was like, tell me you like it. And they was like, I like it. And she was like,
I can still be checked out. Yeah, absolutely. Let me just get this over with. So let me go somewhere. Who knows?
No. Like the drug that he gave them, like literally just made them forget everything that was going. Like made them forget that little time frame, that little period of what happened was just erased from their mind completely.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
There's a drug that they give you in anesthesia that actually does that too. Before you get your anesthesia, there's a drug that they give you to help you relax, and that drug makes you forget. Like pretty much, if you ever went into surgery and you put that mask on to calm down, that is a drug that's in there, and you just don't remember. And they use those type of drugs too as date rape drugs, so that a woman cannot remember the details. So that if she does remember you were with her, she can't sit in a court of law and say, I definitely know he was on top of me. They have some plausible deniability with those type of drugs. So, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep. That's what it's called.
So
GHB.
The next one was, I can remember.
No desire to leave the house.
Yeah, no desire to leave the house. I think she touched on that. That's with the isolation. The her attacker calling her. And, now he's becoming a stalker.
But he's like, I didn't do anything. What's the problem? What did I do wrong? Tell me what I did. You know what you did.
But that's them trying to convince themselves that they didn't do nothing. So they need your validation to let them know that they didn't do nothing when you really did do something. Because then if you didn't feel like you did anything, you wouldn't feel the need to call to make sure and see if they thought you did something.
Right.
And I had cases
exactly.
Like that person kept bothering her, making her feel bad, and like, oh, please forgive me. Oh, I really didn't do anything. But it's like, no,
gaslighting her.
Gaslighting her, yeah. And then I remember at a point, because we worked together for a while, getting frustrated, like, why are you still talking to him? Shut him down, not cuss him out, but be stern, stand firm in your power, because you are. I know sometimes when people are in that space where, once again, I don't want to be the victim. No, you're a survivor and you will thrive. Therefore, becoming a thriver. But stand in your power, like shut him down. And so sometimes I gotta come at my clients in that way, but it's coming from a place of love. But it's like, listen,
you need tough love. People need tough love.
You need that.
I need you to tell me the real. I don't want you to sugarcoat it for me. Tell me the real.
Yeah, Dr. Lovett was trying to be so polite. I'm gonna say it for her. Shut his ass the fuck down.
Hey,
yeah, exactly. Yes.
So last one before we get into how we can make this normal. Which was her blaming herself. Why? This is where I'm starting my confusion. Why do women or men go first to blame themselves? Why would you blame yourselves for?
Because you figure, what could I have done that would have prevented this from happening? What could I have done that would not be the outcome of this particular situation? I must have did something. I had to do something. Otherwise, this wouldn't have happened to me.
Exactly.
Why didn't I predict this?
Yeah.
Why?
Do you think that's more or less because they're not asking the right questions when you're meeting these people?
It's not,
No.
It's not nothing doing that. I can walk out down the street butt naked if I want to. That gives you no right to everything. You put your hands on my fashion. So no matter what. But I get the questioning of internalizing has to do with a sense of a loss of control. So if I'm saying like, dang, I had to have some contribution to this, because that says if I didn't, I lost complete control. I had to, and that's scary too.
But not even, Dawn said, asking the right questions. Like Alor said earlier, narcissists know how to make themselves seem normal when they're trying to manipulate you. And once they've already manipulated you, then they show you their true colors. And then it's already too damn late, because now you done caught up. So you have asked all the right questions. And that man gave you that man or woman, because I'm not going to just say men and narcissists, because there are some narcissistic women too. But they know how to answer your questions to what they think that what you want to hear. Oh, okay. I don't know, I don't know normal questions people ask, because I've been with the same man for the last 20 years. So I don't be asking nobody no questions.
You definitely got the right. The comments are definitely coming in, and they're asking some great questions and giving some great opinions. Before I go let me read some of these. So Charles said, because we put ourselves in that situation, I guess he was saying on the strength of what I said. And once again, this doesn't mean that me per se, just trying to find out more enlightenment of how women feel after these situations. Mother of two said, after being sexually assaulted, it's extremely difficult to go back to normalcy in their lives. And this is why we're having this discussion. Because sometimes you absolutely, evil masks itself in people you don't know who's good at
who's good evil.
Or evil. Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree.
You don't know, because evil people are very good at portraying to be good. They're very good at it.
Sometimes you don't fight back. And TK, what up, TK? I didn't even see you. I'm sorry. Yeah, at times you don't, mother too. And that's the thing. Women don't fight back because they don't, after the situation, they don't know the right ways to fight back. And that's what I want. I want to go on saying that way. So now I want to get into, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was thinking she was saying sometimes you don't fight back in the middle of a rape, especially if it's aggressive, because you don't know if you're going to lose your life. Because sometimes the more you fight, that person, you will aggravate them and they will become more and more violent. So that may be what she means by that. I was told if it's just so violent, you just lay there, and it sounds weak. But at the same time, that is your way for fighting for your life.
It's called, so it's you. If that's the way you feel that you're going to survive that situation, you have to do what you have to do to get out of the situation.
And your brain.
So whatever it is that you have to do in that situation to make sure that you make it through it, do it. And if that means just letting it go and going with it, just so you know that you're gonna make it out safely and out of like harm's way, because sometimes in sexual assaults they get very rough and violent and things of that nature. I,
Okay, so I just
People
read
do think they
TK's
lost control.
post. I'm not sure. She said, I was told if she did that, which was fight back, he would harm her daughter. I'm so sorry you went through it. Another good friend of ours, family, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely gonna pull. I'm gonna holler at you after the show, definitely. Wow, that just threw me off. Sorry, I'm sorry, guys. So Dr.
Wow.
Lovett, how do you find normal after being sexually assaulted? And the reason why I say that is because I'm looking at a couple of my female friends who are trying to find some normal. One of them hasn't found the normal because the situation she's been in kept getting worse. One of them has, found God, and she chose a different path. She's now looking, trying to move forward with life. And then I have one that pretty much she's back to partying like nothing happened.
Acting like it didn't happen. That's that's her way of surviving. That's her way of coping with it.
Yeah, it is.
Some people just pretend like it didn't happen, because then if I sit in it, if I think about it, it's just going to make me depressed.
But the thing that's gonna happen is when she get tired, all that stuff gonna come crashing down.
That's what I told him.
Yeah,
those were my exact same words, Dr. Cooper Lovett.
It's real. It can be overwhelming.
So basically, she's masking, still masking the situation.
Yeah. And
she's putting a Band-Aid on. She's putting a Band-Aid on her wound, but she's not taking care of it underneath there. It's gonna grow a scab, and eventually, it's just gonna open and fester.
Yeah, and that's why therapy is important, and to deal with those things one piece at a time. Like I always tell people, like, we can swim, but let's deal with the wave one wave at a time. Let's sit in it, but let's not drown in it and get out of it. We have to sit in it, and we have to process it. We have to, emotionally and mentally and spiritually, because I do a lot of spiritual work too, and healing women's wound spaces and through energy work, and so that gets stored in the womb space, that gets stored in the body keeps score, as they say, right? So a lot of what happens to us gets stored in our physical body, as well as all the other bodies that we have as well. I won't even go down that hole, but the thing is, it gets stored in those spaces, and so they have to be released, because if they don't, it'll manifest itself physically. Fibroids, for example, is a of course physically is some stuff, but is a manifestation of trapped emotions.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking about all those things, tumors, all kinds of health issues, things become psychosomatic.
That's true.
Absolutely right.
Let me ask you this, because I know that everyone always says counseling, but I think it is harder for women who go through a rape that was aggressive, and their attackers, they don't see the jail ever. And for those type of women who have to deal with that on a day-to-day, and they know they need counseling, they know they need to speak to someone, is finding that those women have the hardest times, because it's like you have to constantly relive what happened to you. And then deep down inside, this person is still walking the streets. And the biggest battle is literally having to sit in front of someone and relive the most embarrassing thing, the most violent thing that happened to you. And they want you to be so detailed. They want you to, talk this through. And I think that is so hard for a person. How would you get someone to seek after help, and then to let them know that voicing what happened to them doesn't make them weak? Because I feel like it makes, if I feel like it probably makes a person feel weak, especially if you're a person who is prideful and you're used to having so much power, and it's just taken from you. How do you get that person on a journey to healing?
Oh yeah, that's a whole process. First and foremost, they have to be ready to be in that space. And I always believe that no one should ever be forced to go to a place where they're not ready to go. Because the healing process, it's a healing process, but it ain't always fun. So, I just think about it, a huge like wound or a huge surgery. The process of healing is not fun. And so I literally have to make the conscious decision to say that, hey, I'm ready to heal. And whatever comes with it, I'm going to go with the punches, but I do need support. And so I had to learn this lesson the hard way. Starting off, I was only 22 when I started doing therapy. So now I'm about much further in it than what I was. But at the time, me learning, because a part of the process sometimes is going to the trauma narrative where they do describe what happened to them, what were your thoughts, what were your feelings. And so we are literally processing. But what happened was I did that too soon with a client, and she went home and tried to commit suicide. I said, I will never, ever do that again. I will never do that again. What we gonna do is talk about a whole bunch of coping skills first. For sessions, like at least 5 sessions, we're gonna talk about coping skills. We're gonna talk about your support system. We're gonna do all of that before we even dive into the trauma narrative, because you just gotta have your stuff on point before even jumping in there, because it literally will re-traumatize you. And even with the trauma narrative, I don't even go over the whole entire thing. We do it in pieces. Let's talk about this part 1. This is before it happened. This is during, and this is after. Because go over the entire thing in one session is just overkill. It's too much. And even after that is making sure I'm checking in. Are you okay? This is what you need to do when you get home. Let's do some meditation. Let's do some breath work. Let's do some, you know what I mean? Just something to take care of themselves to ensure that they're going to be okay. Because what we don't want is somebody to go home and try to harm themselves.
But that's what I was saying to Dawn before. I was like, it's the whole reliving that trauma, having to go tell somebody in detail what happened to you. You already lived through it. Now you got to relive it and tell it to someone else. It's like,
exactly. It's a
I
lot.
can go.
Is it worth? Some people think, is it worth it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing.
And most women don't tell.
They don't, and that's the importance of holding space. And I'm big on holding space and being in that space with the person to genuinely connect with them, to let them know, like, hey, you're not by. I'm here with you in this moment, in this space. Holding space is so important for them to feel safe. I pride myself on it as a therapist and as a healer. That when people tell me I felt so safe talking to you, I don't know why I'm getting emotional, but that to me says that is a good start to the healing, because they didn't feel safe and now they finally do. That's priceless.
That means you have a good aura, a good vibe about you, that people are comfortable enough to tell you their traumas, whatever that may be.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely what you need, especially nowadays.
I'm sorry to hear that, LeBron.
Yeah, we were kids when that happened. We were kids, yo. I'm so sorry. I love you, LeBron.
So I want to look at the marriage part. You now your husband has to take on this trauma that you done went through. How is a man supposed to? I'm trying to word this right because I don't want to sound insensitive. That's my biggest issue about doing topics like this.
Don I don't want to say he's insensitive. He just does not know how to word anything. He was trying to get people to if they wanted to, call in or whatever. And I was like, why do you sound like one of these lawyer commercials? Like, if you have,
because I definitely don't want to be insensitive, and because I understand how real this is. So that's why I'm trying to word it correctly. How is
your husband supposed to help you heal through this situation?
There you go. That works.
I got you, boo.
There you go. That's why we went into
it. Yeah, absolutely. Because actually, one of my I got a team of a therapist that work under me, but one of my associates actually had an exact case like that, where it was an assault. And she was married, but it was like, it was so convoluted. It really was, because it was like, tough for the husband it's like, I want to support her, but then it was like this need to want to have sex too. So it's kind of like that dichotomy, because it's wanting to respect her boundaries, because she's not going to be in a place to want to have sex. She's just not. and for him to be understanding of and supportive of that, and that we can connect intimately in other ways outside of sex. That's just one of 13 ways to be intimate. So it's going to have to revamp intimacy, because a lot of people think intimacy is just sex. Sex is an emotion in motion. So we are connected. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the thing. Can you be there to support me? Can you help me? You know what I'm saying? Assist me in encouraging me in the process. The healing process is mine on my own. I have to make the choice to heal. You know what I mean? But my husband or my partner can be a supporter and encourager in that process. So I know for him, it is about being patient. It is about being supportive. It is about understanding that there are different ways that we can connect and feel intimate, so that she actually wants to do it. Just in general, though. But you know what I mean? That is not a chore. That does not feel like I'm forced to do that when you are trying to connect with me on the internet. Like, even physical intimacy, not sexual, that I know that you're not trying to have sex with me. You're not expecting anything in return. You just want to hold space for me.
But do you suggest couples therapy for them? Like, she'll have her own therapy session, but couples therapy too, so you can help them through their issues as a couple. Let the men know, like, there are other ways to be intimate with your wife other than intercourse.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And men probably should go to counseling too on their own to deal with how to help their wives, because you have to think about the male ego, because sometimes men understand that things happen to their wives, but then their minds be like, well, maybe she shouldn't have been there, or, you know, especially if, because I've seen a couple. It was on Instagram. The guy told his fiance don't go out. She went out, she got raped. He broke up with her because he said,
got sexually assaulted.
I'm sorry, got sexually assaulted.
And he broke up with her because he told her,
yes, but for the men who are willing to stay, I feel like they should seek help too, because it's going to play on their ego, and I think they need help to manage their feelings too. That way they can help the victim too, their spouse or their significant other. I think that's important too, because sometimes men,
we keep saying men and women, but LeBron is right. Stuff do happen to men as well. So your wife should also, if this situation happens to be a man, your like you were saying, your significant other should go to counseling to figure out how to be a better, how to help you through your
you gotta
trauma.
look at it, but see, I understand from what she was saying. You know, even with that trauma, and that type of trauma, sexual assault, it affects both parties.
It does,
because not even the fact of sex, the intimacy level drops, because maybe she doesn't want to be touched, she doesn't want to talk, she like the isolation, she's already blaming herself for the depression and everything else, and you're trying to figure ways to connect. And maybe she's not ready yet, and you're still like, now you're getting baffled. So, now
that's the whole thing, is people heal at different times.
It's a year down, a year. Now this was a year ago, and you're still not, you're still missing the connection, and
you can't tell someone how long it's going to take them to feel better after a situation like that.
And I agree, but that also affects that.
But that's why I also said that they should go to couples counseling, because then that's something that they can talk with their couple therapist, because then they'll be able to discuss both their problems in that session.
And what is the biggest problem with us as African Americans?
Yeah, I want to go counseling.
Go to counseling.
Well, then do you really want your marriage to work?
We really be trying to counsel ourselves. Let me
talk
to my girlfriend. Let me talk to my homeboy. Instead of, no, let's go talk to a licensed therapist that can help both.
Let's go talk. First of all, you need someone that's not in the situation. And probably don't know neither one of y'all to tell you, well, you wrong for that. Because even if you can go to a counselor, but if it's someone they might pick sides. So you need to go someone who don't know neither one of y'all. So there's no sides to pick. It's a non-biased perspective, and I'm going to tell you wrong for doing what you did. You wrong for doing what you did. This is what y'all should do to get y'all selves back into the kick of things, swing of things, not kick.
Definitely. And each of them having an individual session. So if, for hypothetically, if the one partner is frustrated about the lack of sexual intimacy or any kind of intimacy for that matter, they can vent that without making their partner feel any kind of way. I can let it
Question. And as far as that, is it, do you think that they should go to the same therapist for all three of those sessions, like my personal session, my couple session, and then my partner go for their session? Or do you...
depends on the context, because I have some situations where I do see both individually and for couples, but I think in situations like that, I feel like that particularly, that one, each partner should have
their own
therapist. Yeah,
okay.
The therapist has their part, you know. So sometimes that could work if the therapist is doing all three, but I think with a case like that, I think sometimes it helps to have just another, unbiased.
See, I don't like that only because you might get the good counselor and then I get the one.
No, I only asked that question because the counselor would then know all, because some people, when some people go to couples counseling, they are not going to talk all their business with their significant other. Like they might just be like, yeah, well, this, that, and the third. I don't like when he does this, that, and the third. But when you're in your own personal space, you are going in.
Oh yeah.
I don't like when he takes his shoes off. I don't like when he brushes teeth. They telling the real. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like the therapist would know the story, and then would be able to actually like assess like, well, y'all need to do this because I know that she don't like when you do this, and you need to.
Sometimes that's afraid of that. Like sometimes in some instances they don't want it because sometimes they get paranoid. Like, oh, I wonder, is she talking to my what I said in that session? You know what I mean? And so
but you as a doctor, you ain't supposed to be telling my business to him. So if you tell my business to him, I'm suing you.
But see, like Charles said, that's a conflict of interest. But honestly, Charles, I believe also it would help because now she's heard my side, she's heard her side. She can meet in the middle to try to help both of us reconnect.
That's what I was. That's
how I feel. Yeah, that's how I see it. To me, it's better like that.
You might do like 1 or 2 sessions where you see them each for 30 minutes or something like that, just to get an overall gist of what they are. But that's just for the couples aspect of it. But sometimes if they want to take one-on-one individual time, so that can help. And sometimes you can, like, if they sign a release of information, you can coordinate with that other person's therapist, and y'all can have a conversation as long as they give the consent that it's okay for the two therapists to talk about what they talk about. You know what I mean? So that's collateral where you can kind of work together with the therapist to kind of, have an overall sense of what's helping.
Well, I would want you for my therapist, my couples therapist, and my own regular therapist. Yeah. So you would know all my business.
Listen, I've been trying to get her for the longest. She just don't take my insurance, so that's the only reason why. But I definitely, I'd have went to her. Listen, she's definitely the bomb. Dr. Lovett, let them know how you could get at you.
Sure, yeah. So they can get at me with my New Creation psychotherapy.com. That's the practice, and then the New Creation PSY, as well as Dr. Kuplov. That's Instagram, and then the Tantric MFT. That's also Instagram. So I got 3 different ones. So they can highlight me on that, and that the same.
We got a lot going on, y'all.
Yeah, and I can put it in the chat too.
Yeah, you better do that because I was like, it's what? What is it again?
Laura, let them know how they could get at you.
Hey guys, it's your girl Laura. So you guys can get at me at the Lauren Hour Network over on YouTube or over on IG at the Lauren Hour Network. Also, you guys can follow me on Facebook at Laura Soccer Dannon over on Facebook. But just Google me, I'm there. Y'all find me.
What she said, Google me, bitch.
Google my phone shot.
So, as always, it's the hard part. Dr. Lovett, how do you go out?
You said, how do I want to
go out?
Your last word.
Oh, to not for survivors, because I purposely call them survivors, not victims, but for survivors to really understand that is a process that you can come out of it, to come from, and I know some people say I'm a victim, but from victim to survivor to thriver.
Mm.
Believing in yourself that you can do it, or not believe, but having faith in yourself is a difference. I don't need to stand anything for it.
All right. Laura, how you want to go out?
I just want to say baby steps. If you guys are feeling overwhelmed and you feel like counseling is too much, just ease into it. Just start by talking to someone. Holding it in is dangerous, and just getting a little bit out there. And just remember that it is a process, and with each day comes healing, and just to continue to love yourself.
Absolutely. A lot of people do forget to love themselves after something traumatic like that. You have to absolutely remember to love yourself. I just want to say, I want to thank these two beautiful ladies for being here tonight. Y'all made this conversation, even though it was a tough topic to talk about, y'all made it an interesting one. Dawn, we ain't got no choice but to be here, but I thank you for being here anyway. And I want to thank everybody for being in the comments, because there was a lot of comments tonight. I like it.
Yeah.
And I just want to say thank y'all. God bless and good night. Because I think I'm Russell Simmons. No, I don't. No, let me stop, because I hear he's not a good man. So, but either I still want to say
Come
thank
on.
y'all. God bless and good night.
So, I'm going out basically saying, first of all, this show was dedicated to my friends that have gone through this situation, and hopefully this gives y'all a little help or a little advice to try to get you back to the normal. You know? I also want to say thank you to my loving wife who helped me with the videos. I had to give her props. So thank you for sending me
Thank you,
those
Joy.
and helping me pull this off. And I just want to say, definitely listen. The main thing is, God forbid this happens to anyone. Take the time out, go get counseling, call the police. Like I said before, there's the hotline number, which I'm about to put back up so you can see it. Definitely take it down, share with it, share with a friend. I'm coming to, sorry, a little slow, I know. And help each other. If y'all see something, say something. Help somebody
It
try
doesn't
to
just
get
work
through
for
this.
bags on the train.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, you see somebody going through a traumatic experience, and before they choose to lose it, take their life, help them. Even if you take a step and say, "Yo, listen, I'll go with you. I'll take you to the counselor." Do that. There's nothing wrong with that. These are steps, and you definitely need to start helping each other notice those steps. Go back and watch this video. Look at those steps of the things that happen and how you can try to pretty much if you see or feel like, that person is doing these things, get away from that person. So that's the most I can say on that. Other than that, this show will replay tomorrow at 9 a.m. on our radio station, Live 365, and on Fleet Radio Network. We will be back next week, of course. We will have I'm just gonna shoot you. Check the page, man. Tap into the IG. You already know what it is, man. It's the Evening Rush, and we out. Thank y'all for tuning in, man.